Hey, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to an early edition here of the Simple Minds Sports Show. A little bit early on the post-Christmas show. Spoiler alert, Ray has been drinking for days. He's on another level. I have already threatened to quit twice in our pre-meetings and wanted to put my fists through the screen. So if you get as frustrated as I do with blatant stupidity, this is not the show for you. Or if you just want to laugh and stay along, please do. Because we were talking about the Celtics and what is wrong with them. Dropped 2 straight for the first time this season, including on Christmas Day to the lowly 76ers and that putz Joel Embiid. Have they lost their identity? Jason Tatum thinks they just have to work a little bit harder. But we're going to find out if they can find their identity or if they are truly showing their true colors. Are they front-running pussies, as somebody has said in the past? So we talk about that. We'll be also talking about many things, starting with some opening takes here from my co-host, as we always do. Dr. Big Mac, please give me your opening take.
Thank you there, Richard. With this show, we've been blessed with social media and people posting, and we had a beautiful video about Gerard Mayo, how he should be fired if Mike Vrabel wants to come on and coach this Patriots team. And the amount of stupidity comes out of you people's fucking brains is just baffling. Coming from me, that's saying something, because all you guys are saying, give him another chance. This guy can't fucking coach his way out of a paper bag right now. You know, he's aggressive going on 4th and 2. Then in the fourth quarter down by 2 possessions. You got 8 minutes left in the game, and you fucking blundered that. I mean, it's total stupidity. And for once, please get on the bandwagon of the bot pod. Get rid of Gerard Mayo.
Dr. Big Mac not happy with the internet fools. Bobby, your opening take.
The shine is finally coming off of the shit that is Joe Mazzulla. He is finally starting to show his true colors. He is not able to lead this team through the midseason doldrums. They are tuning him out. They are dropping like flies. They no longer wish to play for him. He is a turd.
Two losses. 2 losses. The same record as last year when they went on to win the championship. We've got 2 losses.
I answered the question. What's wrong with the Celtics?
Okay, we will see Joey Maz showing his true colors. We'll certainly have more about that. I'll go Red Sox here. Although you can surely still be a little bit disappointed in what they have done or not done thus far in the offseason, particularly in not spending money. This has been their best offseason in 5+ seasons ever since the mid-market bonanza from John Henry has started with the Mookie Betts trade. Hands down, it's been their best. They're still not spending money the way that they could or should, but they are making improvements to the team. I think there's still yet another shoe to drop with at least one more big-ish addition. So we do a lot of bashing of the Red Sox in this show, and there will be more of that in the show for certain reasons, but this is an ode to them and a tip of the cap. Well done, Craig Bledsoe, so far, grading on a scale of what they've done the last 5 years, but so far it's been their best offseason the last 5 years. You should be looking at improvement from this Red Sox team. So the show rundown, we will be talking about what's wrong with the Celtics. We've got Pat's Scraps. We'll talk about that Bills game. Ray didn't have a chance to join us on Mondays because, he doesn't want to or whatever. The Red Sox hot stove, the penalty box. Just came up with that top of the head. Was putting this on.
That was great.
We're gonna put Bobby in a 5-minute major. He's gonna have to sit out as we talk about the Bruins for 5 minutes. We've got 10 questions from a guy named Rob. Came up with that off the top of my head too. Had to change that title of that. Bobby just comes up with 10 questions and asks us about it. And Simplest Minds of the Week. This is the Simple Minds Sports Show, Friday Rewind, live Thursday, December 26th. Merry to all of you. Welcome to the show.
Merry.
The Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Mazzulla and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently, they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
I'm on vacation vacation. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's Q-U-E. You idiot.
Oh, Ray. Welcome to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Bobby's got a new room. Congrats on that, Bobby. We look particularly good tonight, Ray. If you're watching on your favorite podcast platform, listening on your favorite podcast platform, rate, subscribe, review wherever you are. Tell your friends, as always, tell your mothers. And tell them about our newsletter. Comes out every week. We've got all the latest blogs, all the podcasts, the latest merch. We've got exclusive content, including top 5 in our behind the paywall, which you don't want to miss out on. We pay for all your Boston Heralds, Boston Globes, Boston Sports Journals, Athletic, ESPNs. We read the biggest stories, summarize them for you, give us our twist, give you a couple laughs, and you can only get that through our newsletter. So either click the link here in the description or in the comments, or go to simplemindsports.com and join the weekly newsletter. You don't want to miss it. So let's talk about the Celtics. What is wrong with the Celtics, Bobby? 2 losses in a row, first time this season. It's coming to an end, crumbling beneath their feet under the Joey Maz experiment. The time's finally run out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of it is going to be the fact that they've been on the road. It is the holidays. They're dialing down. Holidays out. Porzingis is in and out. They're going to have some injuries. But I think some of it does fall on coaching. They got outmanned, outmuscled in the Magic game, who were also missing players. They were missing their 2 best guys, and they still lost that game. And then they come out flat on Christmas. So Mazzulla's got to get them dialed in. We know he's a one-trick pony. He coaches his system, and if they're not buying in what he's selling, he doesn't have a second gear.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is I think that they are totally bought in, and the second gear needs to be how he shifts in game to a different approach, and that's the question I have.
Get me started on that.
I will try not to, although that's where I want to go. The team went 8 for 33 from three-point land, 24% against the Orlando Magic. Jaylen Brown, Tatum was scratched just before that game. So we saw, how that team would operate without him.
Which is funny because he's the guy that hates load management, and yet he's getting load management right now. So
let's not shit on Jason Tatum.
I'm sorry.
Played more minutes in the NBA by I think double anybody else.
He does.
And I'm not sure
that
I don't think that they pulled him right before the game, and I didn't see exactly why. Maybe load management, but he dealt with a wrist injury. That now is not the time to shit on Jason Tatum about load management because he missed the game against the Orlando fucking Magic. Okay, who Bobby's point, they were missing their top 3 scorers, and you still lost. All right, if you want to talk about Jason Tatum in that aspect, that just shows you how important he is when the team is without him, especially offensively. Even though Christmas didn't look like that, we've been tooting this horn since last playoffs when he should have got the finals MVP of how integral he is to that offense. So shut the fuck up, Ray, on that real quick. Thank you. Hot take from Ray here, who put together most of this email. Porzingis hurts this team more than he helps this team coming back from injury. Please, this should be good.
No, I mean, he can't stay healthy. He's always on the court. It doesn't seem like he's gelling right now with the team. They went on this big run before he got back into the lineup, and now he's here, and it just seems like he throws off the whole offense and defensive assignments, and that's why I think he is the Achilles heel right now for the Boston Celtics.
Achilles heel, the Boston Celtics. Outside of Joe Mazzulla, Bobby, would you have anything to say about Porzingis'?
I'd say the only thing he's done is he's cooled off Peyton Pritchard. He's taken some shots and minutes away from him. He was, he was out of this world. But I agree. His return has not been as succinct as it could have been, and he is in and out all the time, which messes with the lineup. But there's also other reasons for that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's not the Achilles heel of the Boston Celtics. If you have a right Porzingis, and by right, I mean playing right and healthy, which is a big if. I understand that's a big if, which is why we won't talk about it this show. But moving forward, the NBA trade deadline is going to be a big topic here. And Kristaps Porzingis pops up in every Celtic rumor I've seen on the internet. And I think for good reason. He's still tantalizing to a lot of teams. He's on a short-term deal. When he's right, the Celtics are 100% unbeatable. If you have their starting five with a Pritchard and Horford coming off the bench and Hauser in their whole Snyder, their whole lineup, they're unbeatable. We saw what they did last year. But yes, there's certainly struggles with Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know why they felt like he should come back so goddamn early. Like, he's a health risk. He has a career-long history of health concerns. He's not getting any younger. You don't need him. And to your point, Bobby, Pritchard was playing out of his mind. So definitely some questions there, but you can't hold a player back if he wants to play. And that's the one surprising thing I'll give Porzingis. Dude seems like he came to Boston, really embraced it.
He loves ball.
He puts it all out there. But that could not be said about him, and certainly in New York and even in Dallas at times, it felt like they were shitting on him for not wanting to be totally involved.
Well, it's like what you said is pretty much if you win a championship here in Boston, you are idolized forever. Like, your name's set in stone, and you did that here in Boston. Yeah, you were gimpy. You came out in the finals and pushed through an injury and try to play as best you could, and that's gritty, and that's what Boston fans love the most is a guy out there that's going to go out injured and doesn't give a fuck about his health. He's just trying to win that championship for the city and for the team, and you got to respect that. But at the same time, this year you're coming back off of an injury, and you're actually kind of hurting this team, I think, in my opinion, that because in offensive struggles, he's not 100%. He's coming back from a leg injury where you're not getting your full extent of the training camp and all that stuff in the summertime. So your shot's a little off, your defense, you're a little sluggish. So I think that's what the biggest problem is for Porzingis right now.
I'd be real quick. I just want to talk about the Porzingis trade thing since you brought it up. I would just want to be careful with that trade real quick. A lot of those things we see, it's Porzingis and then plus the Celtics getting back 3 or 4 things. In the NBA, if you trade away the best player, every single time you lose the trade, unless you're talking 5 years later with draft picks. And so I don't know if that's a good idea unless they're doing a 1-for-1 swap of bona fide stars.
Yeah, look, I was surprised to see his name in those rumors as much as possible. And like I said, we'll talk more about it in the coming weeks as the deadline draws. But the reason why his name is in there is because everybody understands the financial burdens the Celtics are under and about to be under, even more so in the years to come. And a number of these players, 2 to 3 of these big name players at least, will not be on this team moving forward. So Brad Stevens is up against, do we just run it all back this year and lose some leverage next year and into the offseason with whether it be Porzingis or Drew Holiday or Derek White even or a Pritchard and try to get the best of it, try to win a championship with this team? Or do we get ahead of it and build some assets and try to build a decade-long contender? So, that's the narrow path Stevens has to walk here. And if they traded Porzingis for Steven Adams and some young wing players and a pick in return, I'm just saying, to Ray's point, I don't know how bad it's going to hurt the team. Unless we're still worried about the fucking chemistry, which we might have to be, getting back to the real time in their loss here against Christmas, 118-114 against the 76ers. Couldn't stop Tyrese Maxey, 33 points, 12 assists, 4 rebounds. 76ers, 19 for 19 from the free throw line, better 3-point percentage. Caleb Martin, right? Or is it the brother?
Caleb Martin
hit a bunch, 7 threes, I think they had. And
career high. And basically Joe Mazzulla said that we'll let Caleb Martin beat us. We'll shut everyone else down. Let Caleb Martin do it. He did it with the Heat. He did it in that playoff series last year with the Heat.
Caleb Martin owns the Celtics.
He is a Celtics killer. That guy.
This is a second against Mazzulla. This is a Pittsburgh Steelers versus Tom Brady. We do what we do every Sunday, and you get shredded every time you do it. And if the Celtics, to Bobby's point, cannot adapt in games that are not going their way through their method of play, their talent will still probably win out. It is the NBA, and they are 7-game series when it comes to the playoffs. Their talent will probably still win out. But if you want to stick with that long-term conversation, they're not going to have this talented of a roster all the time. They're going to have to adapt. Brown and Tatum are going to have to adapt. And if you have a Porzingis who shoots 75% from the post, can you maybe take a quarter and run some shit from that part of the court instead of from 35 feet away? I think that'll always be a second guess with this team unless they win another championship. Then really we will have to throw our hands up if we don't have to already. But what pissed me off about it was this Jaylen Brown clip, which I'm about to tell you. show you about. This is why I still have the question: are they front running pussies? How old do they have to get? How mature do they have to get? How many championships do they have to win before they start doing shit like this? Please play the.
Any idea what led to that slow start?
I just think we just came out too casual. I just think we was walking to our spots. Nobody was sprinting down the floor, just kind of hanging around, just trying to veer back to get the ball instead of just pushing it down the court and just being aggressive. I feel like we just started off the game just slow, and they took advantage of that.
Is it tougher this season, having been through and you won the championship and everything? Is it tougher this season to kind of get as motivated as you need to be for some of these regular season games?
No, I think it's about the same. It's just, it's a new year. It's not the same. And we got to go out and earn it. But the motivation is there. For me personally, just getting up and just going to play basketball is a blessing. But as a group, we got to be better.
For how in this point, I get that you're the defending champs. You're going to get the best every night, and they understand that. I think they really do understand that. But the idea of we were slow to our spots, we were just lazy coming into it. You just lost to the Orlando Magic, and it's Christmas Day on national television against your repeated rival, as bad as they have been this season, with a former MVP, as bad as he's been this season. If you can't get up for that regular season game, what are we doing? That you can't use that as an excuse anymore, which to their credit, I don't think they did. I don't think Jaylen Brown is using any excuse. He's just explaining what happened, but that should not happen. Point blank. It just shouldn't happen. If you want to be championship medal, like you say you are, some of those games will happen. Orlando can happen. Tatum falls out the last second. You got to go into a game, and Orlando always plays them tough, and that's a trap game. And okay, you lose that, fine. They should have beat that 76ers team by fucking 20 on Christmas Day with that type of motivation. So I don't give a ton of leeway there for this team. And those question marks, the reason why they're still not getting the amount of credit that they probably should after winning that championship is shit like this. They haven't earned the right to LeBron James the way through the regular season and turn on a light switch. They haven't proven that they can flip the switch whenever they want to. They haven't proven that yet, I don't think. And neither is Gary Washburn, who burnt us tonight.
Yeah, Gary.
On an interview. Really left us in the dust, Gary. Thanks for that. But here's what he has to say in his latest Boston Globe column. Opposing teams are no longer intimidated by the Celtics' three-point barrage. They're getting gashed. They're gashing their defense, outworking them for 50-50 balls and causing flurries of turnovers. The Celtics started Christmas Day as if they had too much eggnog, committing 6 first-quarter turnovers in a game they never had control of. And another quote from that.
Too much eggnog. Good line, Gary.
Good line, Gary. In another article, he calls them
like
borderline embarrassing for the effort that they put out there, which was your effort in making it to the interview with us tonight, Gary. Borderline embarrassing. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. They should get a team like this should get crushed when they have efforts like this on Christmas.
Well, especially when you're the supposed front runners to win back-to-back NBA titles for the first time since Golden State did it, 6 years ago? So, yeah, I mean, you're going to burn. You're going to get the best competition from everyone every night that you play. And if you have a lackluster performance like you did in Orlando because you were shot 26% from three-point land, and then you go to home against Philadelphia and you play like shit, I mean, yeah, everyone's going to shit all over you because you are supposed to be the lone bright spot in Boston sports right now, and you're 2 in a row losses.
Players were tired and disinterested. Coach didn't get them up. He didn't know what button to press. Sometimes there's other things, but I always come after the in-game tactics, playing the same way. Also, part of it is managing the players and managing moods. That's a big thing. That was a big Phil Jackson thing. You got to manage the mood, manage the players. Maybe he doesn't know how to do that.
You would be a Zen Master fan, wouldn't you?
It's just a compromise, a comparison. That was.
I'll just give you this. So I'll give you something a little bit different on Christmas Day. Christmas Day games are weird. They're weird times, and it throws players off, and they're all creatures of habit. Christmas Day is a player's game. Christmas Day is our guys that want to go out there and showcase and star. This is why the Celtics are generally good in these days. Jason Tatum usually has a fucking day on Christmas because he knows that the cameras are on him. And he played well, I guess, but yeah, the overarching theme here is they were not ready to go, and that generally falls in the coach's bucket. So There you go. You got one up on Joey Maz there for Christmas, Bobby. Congrats.
Sucks, Maz.
Throw it over to headlines with the obvious one.
Thank you there, Richard. Sad beers all week long for Boston sports. First, the Celtics lose 104. No Tatum, no bueno. Did you put the fucking picture up? I fucking hate you. Then on Christmas Day, the Celtics lose at home 118-114 to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers were perfect, 19 for 19 at the free throw line. First time all season the Celtics dropped 2 straight. Speaking of dropping several straight, good segue, Ray. The Patriots have now lost 5 in a row, getting taken down by the Buffalo Bills 24-21. It was a tale of 2 halves that saw Gerard Mayo lay another egg in the second half with no adjustments. Next up, however, against the Coach of the Year candidate, Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers, suck it Vine. The Boston Bruins now sit in third in the Atlantic Division. They tried to make it 3 straight when they take on the Blue Jackets Friday night, and then a back-to-back game against the Blue Jackets home on Saturday. Finally, the Red Sox signed 2 pitchers. First, Walker Buehler comes over from the Dodgers on a 1-year deal worth $21 million. The other signing is something called Patrick Sandoval to a 2-year, $18.5 million deal that won't see him until at least the end of June after coming off Tommy John surgery. This has been Headlines with the obvious one. Back to you there, Richard.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
That was tough, right? All right, Pat Scraps versus the Bills. Look ahead to the Chargers. That's what we got here. Tail 2 halves. So Bobby and I had a wonderful interaction on Monday. We talked about this Patriots game. Ray, you couldn't make it?
Nope.
Okay. We discussed much of it, and honestly, a lot of it was a lot of repeat from all of our Monday breakdown shows. Snapshot with the Patriots recap is what that's called. Go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. But it does come back to coaching, even in a game that looked like the Patriots had a little bit of control over. Bobby was bamboozled with 14-0.
Totally.
He thought that the Patriots had a shot. I knew that the shot was 0%. Ray, you asked the question in our text chain, when do the real Patriots show up? About 5 minutes after you asked that question, they showed up with some silly turnover or bad play call or bad decision. So were you taken aback at least by the 14-0 score? Or were you ever fooled that they would make this a game?
No, never fooled, because, this team is the Patriots this year. They are always constant losers. Basically, when they were up 14-0, I was trying to figure out ways, like, how are they going to fuck this game away? Because it was going to happen. Like, the Patriots are just notoriously, like, when we had Tom Brady, you knew that he was going to come back and win. When you have Gerard Mayo on the sidelines, how is this team going to fuck up and lose? And that's what I just kept thinking of. And, like, they're going to fucking piss this game away somehow, some way, and they did.
Yeah, and a lot of it goes to coaching decisions. To be honest, as you point here, Mayo once again sounds like an idiot on the podium, saying he wanted to be aggressive in the game, and that's why they went for it on 4th and 2. But with the game on the line and 8 minutes left, they punted down 2 scores, which Bobby and I touched on Monday. The biggest takeaway for me, and really the biggest red sign or red flag or whatever you want to say about this team, is the Drake May running plays. That you came out of a week where the biggest story out of Foxborough was Gerard Mayo throwing his offensive coordinator under the bus for not calling a designed run for Drake May. And all of New England was talking about it, whether it should happen, whether it shouldn't happen. Alex Van Pelt's an idiot. Gerard Mayo puts his foot in his mouth. Whatever you want to say, the pressure was on the Patriots revolving around this issue of Drake May not having design runs, in which Alex Van Pelt had said multiple times this season they would not do that. They would not put their rookie quarterback in harm's way, especially with 3 games left in the season. And wouldn't you know it, first half, you get a Drake May run play. It's astonishing. I've never seen that. The public pressure having such an immediate impact in game. We saw it. The decision to start Drake May. They said they would not start him until he was ready. And then the Patriots lost a bunch of games in the row and looked like dog shit. And wouldn't you know it, Drake May was ready. We saw it with the Marcus Jones shit that Alex Pelt didn't know Marcus Jones was in the offense. The next week he's got to play in the offense. Bubba, we said it, like, you can't, like, even if you think it's a good idea to have Drake May running it, you can't do that based on public pressure. And I laid out, I'll let you speak on this. I laid out in the Simple Mind Sports, go to the blog, join the newsletter, in a blog in there, exactly what happened, quote for quote. Mayo and the Crafts had their weekly meeting. They asked about Drake May not running it. Mayo said, in his corporate shrill bullshit riding the fence, well, I've always wanted to run Drake May. I think we should do it more often. And then the Crafts said, well, we give you permission to go tell Alex Van Pelt, offensive head coach, he should get Drake May into some running plays. And then Mayo summons Alex Van Pelt into his office. I'm sure he had his feet on his desk, eating a candy bar or whatever. And he said, Alex, the Crafts said that you should run Drake. So you're going to run Drake. Daddy said so, bitch. And there you go. There you have it. It's dysfunction incarnated on the field week after week. It's ridiculous.
Anytime that a regime, a coaching staff takes suggestions from the media and then implements them, it is never a good thing. It is the sign of a weak coaching staff and a weak organization to give in to public pressure under any circumstance.
Well, don't tell that.
Well, you could also tell, I'm sorry, Rich, but you could also tell that, like, Mayo said this to the media because the announcers were like, every graph was about, the most yards from scrimmage without a design running play, Drake May with 392. So it's like the media was fed into this bullshit. Like, watch this, guys. We're going to have all these design run plays for Drake May this week. So why don't you guys just mention it through the program? Because we're going to shock you guys with all these plays.
That's also a Kraft thing, who has his finger wrapped around the media for making that deal, 12 years ago. That's why you get shots of Krafts in the press box. How many NFL games do you see shots of NFL owners?
Zero.
Unless it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see shots of NFL owners. Every single Patriots game, we see the Krafts. Every single game.
Very true.
So yeah, it's just a bad look, man. Like, as soon as I saw that design run play from Drake May, I went, oh, for the fucking love of God. Like, way to ruin a good start too. We were at 14-0, looked like they were on track, and fucking dime from Drake May to Booty on that touchdown pass.
Who you can't stop. You can't stop me.
Booty did put out a social media post after another loss. After another loss, Booty, that they can't stop him, although they stopped him. Basically, outside of that one fucking touchdown.
You lost.
You don't win after one touchdown. Keyshawn Booty. He should know that. He lost a lot of fucking bets at LSU. He lost a lot of bets. He should understand one touchdown does not get you a win. Very frustrating being a Patriots fan this time. Unless you're Kendrick Bourne, who believes all is good in the world and Gerard Mayo is good, consistent, and growing.
What we see from Gerard.
I don't think he really shows his cards, and I love that. He doesn't seem phased, and I love that. He's the same person. He's consistent. When he comes to the team meetings, he's the same. He's approaching it the same, just very consistent. And when you have that, I think you start to see consistency on the field. So we're improving as a team. Our record doesn't show it, but we've improved through the year from where we rank and things like that. So I think that's how we got to approach it.
Have you seen him grow?
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that. So first year, I saw him talking on some interview, and you go through anything you do the first time, it's going to be hard. It's going to be struggle. So
first time I had sex with your mother, Rich, it wasn't a hard or a struggle.
No, that sucked, Ray. My private chat was much better than that. You didn't give me time to do that joke before you played the clip, but I won't repeat it here because the moment's gone. You should have done that before that. You should also let it Bobby talk, because of the list of people hate, starting with Joe Mazzulla. If I hate Kyrie this much, Bobby hates Joe Mazzulla this much. Very close to the top of that list, correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby, climbing rapidly is Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne is a fucking asshole that should be cut immediately. He probably single-handedly lost the Bills game with him running the wrong route again. He runs the wrong route at least once a game. He's a professional football player that keeps getting on the field that can't do the one thing he's supposed to fucking do. He sucks.
I knew it. He hates Kendrick Bourne. And like
He's
normally
terrible.
this kind of talk, like out of a bad locker room, like, you'd be like, all right, well, at least they got this guy. But it's like, no, like he's just so happy-go-lucky. He doesn't know how to fucking do anything.
We're even better, like rankings and stuff. No, you're not. You're like last in everything. You suck.
They do suck, and he sucks too. $9 million a year they gave that guy for 3 years after he blew his ACL.
Great signing. Great signing. That's what you
A
need to
bunch
get.
of fuck idiots down there. Yeah,
Elliot
internet.
Wolf
Let's
is a
keep
fucking
Gerard Mayo
moron.
around, and guys, and Elliot Wolf and the whole gang.
He's a DEI hire from what I've heard from everyone.
Okay, well, why don't you flesh that out? Because you keep saying things without any context.
Apparently, everyone. So we posted a video about how we should fire Gerard Mayo, but I guess it's a PR move that you can't fire a black head coach because it's a diversity, equality head coach move. So therefore, Kraft has handcuffs and he can't fire him. Which I say, if you can't fucking coach, I don't care if you're green, black, blue, orange, white, whatever. If you can't coach, you can't coach. So fire the fucking guy.
Yeah, those commenters are just racist. They don't really actually understand what DI is or how it works.
Neither did I.
But I will not I will not put past the fact that it was a check of a box when the Crafts were deciding for Gerard Mayo to be their head coach, and the NFL and the parameters around it that Gerard Mayo was of African American descent. That was in the good and bad column. Check, good.
They put that one in the
No
good column.
experience whatsoever. Probably doesn't have a clue what he's doing. That's check in the bad column. Super nice guy. Speaks
cool.
corporate bullshit. Has me wrapped around his finger. Got a group of kids to like him in Jerusalem. Check. You're in. Black, check, in. Don't know how to coach football? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later.
We'll put that one in the bad column, but you
Yeah.
know what? We believe in you, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't think that they will not make the decision because he's black. I don't think that will be a part of it whatsoever.
No, if you got a better coach, anyone can coach better than this guy. So if you have someone that's from fucking Mars that can coach better than this guy, they'll bring him in. Like that's just how the NFL works. If you have a bad product, no one's gonna want to watch. No one's gonna buy tickets to go to your game, even though it's raining and fucking Saturday and playing the Chargers in a game that you're probably gonna get your faces blown in. But yep, people are gonna go. So you have to have some sort of
Well,
product.
listen here, nobody circles the wagons like Gerard Mayo, okay? We talked about this before after the Jaguars game response, after that embarrassment against the Cardinals response. So I'm sure they'll have another resounding loss where they, fight real hard.
Well, they're playing against Jim Harbaugh and Coach of the Year candidate. So yeah, I think this will be a loss for him.
I think they'll lose the game as well.
You were looking squarely at another blowout. The response was the Bills game, but they lost.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals game was a debauchery. It squarely put Gerard Mayo on the chopping block. And they come back against the Bills. If that Bills game happened 5 weeks ago, wow. All right. Moral victory. We've got something going here. The offense looks like it's kind of clicking. We got to clean some shit up. But I think more and more people have come to our side of the fence here. No, we're too far into the season. We've seen this before as bullshit. You got through your scripted plays and then you fell apart because you don't know how to coach in game and you don't have control over your roster and you make the same stupid mental errors all the goddamn time. And yes, your roster sucks, but it doesn't suck that bad. And now you've cleared that. That might have been a win earlier in the season against a lesser opponent. Now you've got to go play another tough opponent, the Chargers. 17-point win for the Chargers. I could totally see that coming. I'm having a hard time figuring out through lines to talk about this Patriots team and what to look for and what to look forward to. The only thing that revolving around this team that has to happen before we can start thinking about moving forward is the decision on Gerard Mayo or at least parts of his coaching staff. And so these weeks mean nothing anymore to me. I don't know how much they can possibly mean to the Crafts. I guess if you get a win, does a win against the Chargers change your opinion?
No.
The sample size is too big.
The biggest thing. Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, but the Bills can't mathematically get any better than the 2 seed. They're probably going to rest all their players week 18, and if they go into and play that game and lose to all the backups of the Bills, that would be the biggest eye-opening thing for Kraft to be like, all right, here we go. You just lost to a fucking backups that were resting all their players because they knew they were in the playoffs, and we can't even do that. Like, that's going to be the eye-opening thing, I think, for Robert Kraft.
Yeah, I think a win against the Chargers would just simply say more about the Chargers, who need the game to get into the playoffs. I don't think it would say anything about the Patriots at this point.
They don't have a fucking chance against the Chargers.
I agree.
I hope that would open Kraft's eyes, but I don't know if that's the case. It feels like there's a decision that's already been made, and it feels like they are going to try and cut the baby in half. It feels like they're going to fire Alex Van Pelt and try to bring in an offensive coordinator, and not a lot of people are going to want to come here and be under Gerard Mayo in this what feels like a dysfunctional organization. They're going to try to run it back and appease the fans with a move like moving on from the offensive coordinator, or they might not even do that. They might just add. What if they just go add a name? I can't even come up with one right now, but it feels like they've already succumbed to whatever decision was going to happen. And we had reports from Bedard that coming out of the bye week, they were going to look at the last 4 weeks, and that was going to really make a decision for them. You had a disastrous blowout against a Cardinals team. Then you had a competitive game against the Bills, which on paper looks good, but the Bills this time of year always blow a game like this. This was their trap game. They should have lost this game, and the Patriots lost it. They gave it away. They had it in their hands, and they gave it away because of the same nonsense that they have been dealing with all season long. From an outside perspective, if you were just looking at the football and making the decision purely on football, you fire everybody in that fucking building. You start from scratch. Yep. And the Crafts won't. They look at it as a business, and they have egos, and they have emotions. So
that's why I don't think they would fire everyone. I think Elliot Wolf will still have a job.
Well, that's what I mean. It's hard for me to wrap my finger on what will be interesting these last 2 weeks of the season.
You think that there's a chance that they keep Mayo but get rid of Wolf?
No,
because they're actually invested in Mayo, but not so much in Wolf.
No,
I won't put it past them. Or Tom
Mayo's
Curran.
the anointed one. Wolf was just there.
I think no matter what, the coordinators are gone. I think they're going to be the scapegoats. Mayo will be back year 2, and he is going to be on the hot seat. And any blunder, or if they go back out and only win 3 or 4 games, then he's gone for 2026. That's what I think.
I think Mayo is. I think Wolf is a little bit unlikely, just because they've probably been making plans with all their fucking money that they pretend to spend. But maybe. I mean, maybe it. Tommy Curran has talked about a football czar, an overseer of all football. Bill Parcells-ish. I don't see that working. You have a divided front office between the coaches and they're not one staff. That's not how you fucking form a football team.
There's too many chefs. Too many chefs in the kitchen. You want one guy who's. I like what Belichick did. You were running the team. You were running the operations. You were coaching.
You don't even need one guy to do everything. Sorry to cut you off. You just need one guy. If you hire a Mike Vrabel, then he hires the personnel guy. If you hire an experienced GM, then he hires the coach. So they are all of one mind. The coach hires the offensive coordinator. They're all of one mind and moving in the right direction. The Patriots are scattered, and they're all inexperienced and looking for their next job or trying to save their next job. So they're throwing each other under the bus. This was year one in the NFL. Unless your name is Urban Meyer, people don't get fired. Okay. And you don't see things fall apart. Year two, this could turn on its head 3 weeks into the season, and you will see people get fired. You will see people thrown under the bus. Players will quit. Year one, they're just working off adrenaline still. And trying to make this work. Year 2, all of the wheels will fucking fall off. All of the training wheels will fall off if they do not have a good start to the season.
Real quick,
I don't know what else to say.
I'm Gerard Mayo. I just fired you, Alex Van Pelt, and you, Covington. Would you want to come work for me? Because I'm on the hot seat, and if I get fired, then that probably means you're out of a job too, and now you're looking at the next year to go find another new job somewhere else. Would you want to take that responsibility on?
If you're Mike McCarthy or Brian Daboll or somebody who has head coaching experience and has been fired and needs an offense coordinator job, and Drake May sitting there, and you have basically again full autonomy on offense, sure, you might be able to get a Mike McCarthy. Sure. I mean, you'll get somebody. It's the NFL.
It's a
There's
better
only 32
offensive
of those fucking
coordinator
jobs.
job than it is defensive coordinator job.
Yeah, because you have Drake May, but you also have Christian Gonzalez on the defensive side of the ball that you can work around and scheme with. But I mean, you need a lot of help on the for front office when you come to the draft, when you come to free agency. You need to add a lot of pieces, which I don't think they're going to be able to address, even though they're going to spend money. So I think it's just like one of those jobs where you're just like, it's a great opportunity. I can get my next step on the ladder, but no thanks. I'll try my luck somewhere else.
Would you, your point is basically, are they walking into a lame duck situation where they're moving across country to then have to move again? So, yeah, no, it would be something that the candidate would have to consider, and you might not get the best young talent at that point. You might be looking at retreads.
You're also looking at a possible early promotion. If you get off to if you're Mike McCarthy and you're a Patriots offense coordinator,
Very true. If you're Dayball, then you might be the interim.
You blow out Mayo, and then boom, you're the interim coach with Drake May as your quarterback.
Well, that's a big roll of the dice right there. That's
not if you don't have any other fucking offers. There's only 32 of those jobs out there, baby, and there's only a couple openings every year, and people need to get paid. So that's why you always get retreads. That's why you always get. I think, Bobby, you've made this point more than I have. I think minimally you have to fire Alex Van Pelt because your offensive prospects with Drake May alone excels you beyond a number of teams that will be looking for offensive coaching help. Tenfold, you're probably the best destination for that type of position offensively in the league with Drake May and what he's shown. So I think you have to upgrade Alex Van Pelt because you will have suitors to fill that role. There may not be a ton of them, and I don't know all the names, but Dayball and Mike McCarthy come to mind if Mike McCarthy indeed gets fired. And they're not the greatest, but I just think that will be a role that can be filled. Defensively, probably not as much. And really, it's just splitting the baby. They should really just start from scratch, but they won't. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. I think it'll be a lot for us to talk about, but I just do not see them taking on full responsibility, taking it on the chin, saying, yeah, my bad. We fucked this. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, something that Vines said before, right there. Take it on the chin, just run it back.
Good try, baby. Quick break. Also, if you don't stop futzing with the shit on your goddamn desk, another desk, or whatever is in front of you.
It's not me. It's not me because I put my
absolutely you. You're the only one moving. You're fidgeting
you.
like a fucking 6-year-old with ADD. Like, just stop.
Quick, right back. Restless minds on display.
That's just short on me. Little Buffalo 42 in there right there if you want to go check that out. Spotify. Red Sox, as Ray writes, Red Sox hot stove is ice cold. I would disagree with that wholeheartedly. They have actually made moves.
Explain.
I will. The baseball offseason is a slow, painful slog. It has been that way for a very long time now. And I may be grading on a curve here, but considering how baseball works and how the Red Sox have worked recently, I would call this piping hot with what the Red Sox have pulled off here in the offseason. You've got the big sign and trades moves here. Aroldis Chapman was the first one. I get it. Woof, whatever. 1 year, 10.7. Then the Garrett Crochet trade, something that we have been asking for. Red Sox fans have been asking for a very long time, and they finally did it. And there may be reason to critique some of that, but I'm not going to sit here and do it. The deal by itself, good deal. The right deal. Good job. You've got a potential number one starter on your staff. That's what you needed. Well done. Garrett Crochet. And then they signed Patrick Sandoval, which was a stupid fucking deal.
Woof. That's what I'm talking about. Woof.
He's going to make, this is a Heim Bloom deal. You sign a guy off Tommy John surgery. Probably won't pitch at least till the middle of the season, probably before that or till after that. Won't be a valuable commodity until 2026. Very Liam Hendricks-ish. So, yeah, sure. We don't have to worry about 3 years. 2 years, $18.25 million. That's more than he would have got if they just cut him, which they were going to, and you sign him. So 5.08 ERA coming off injury. Not great. Got a good spin rate though, Ray. Got a hell of a fucking spin rate. So, and then Walker Buehler. I've heard more Red Sox fans bitch about Walker Buehler, who they've been clamoring for years. They've been clamoring for this guy, Walker Buehler, a good youngest.
Where's Walker Buehler from, Bobby?
I have no idea.
Oh, give him his ass. That's an easy one. Walker Buehler, 21 million, 1 year, 1-6 last season with a 5.3 ERA, but had a excellent October in the playoffs in the Dodgers, where he came from, Bobby. LA Dodgers run to a World Series, and in the past has been an all-star and a sub-3 ERA guy, and has a ton of stuff, ton of potential. Again, another guy coming off ACL surgery, which is just rite of passage.
Tommy John.
in the MLB.
Tommy John's surgery.
What did I say?
ACL.
Sorry, Tommy John. Tommy John surgery, rite of passage in the MLB. Everybody has it, and then it takes you 2 years to get back to your normal self, or if you're Chris Sale, 5. Walker Buehler, nice addition for the Boston Red Sox. Number 2 starter.
It's a gamble, man. Is all they're doing is gambling. They're signing these guys that are coming off surgery. Walker Buehler had his worst season ever last year. I think he had a 5.64 ERA. It's just not what the Red Sox are notoriously doing. They're just, once again, rolling the dice and praying that they get a great hand from what they're signing, which, who knows? I don't think it's going to be a good sign.
Walker Buehler, that is not the case with Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler had a rough year, his first year off of Tommy John surgery. Traditionally, the second year after Tommy John, players have good years. Walker Buehler is a good signing. There's certainly risk. Any signing, any pitching signing in the MLB right now, in this day and age, is a risk. Really, it really is. I mean, Corbin Burns is out there. He's a 30-year-old pitcher. Yep, the Red Sox could have signed him. He's still not signed yet. They could have given him the bag. They don't want to do that. But
he has a great run against AL East opponents after pitching in Baltimore.
I would much rather have Corbin Burns than Walker Buehler. I will tell you that. I'm not sitting here saying that this is 100 out of 100 test for the Red Sox. What I'm telling you is, grading on a curve, it's the best offseason that he's had in 5 years, and you have to start understanding that we continue to apply pressure to the Red Sox to spend like a $5 billion organization, but they're not going to. Nope. All right. So we can have two conversations. We can talk about the actual deals and the actual players, in which these players are good. They make the team better. They address needs. They got a number 1 starter for their staff. They got a number 2 starter for the staff. They've made a number of smaller moves for their bullpen. They still have a right-handed bat, which they are in all of the rumors. Teoscar Hernandez looks like the Dodgers isn't going to work out. Red Sox are next in line. They will try to get it. Now, this is the other conversation we can have. So we like those players. We like those pitchers. But they only like them under their financial restraints. And that's where you can have the conversation about the Boston Red Sox still not doing enough. Corbin Burns should have been the guy. They had more than enough money to fucking give him, and they won't. Their philosophy is not to pay long-term contracts at big money, especially for pitchers.
After 30.
At least after 30. But I don't even know if that's the case anymore. We don't have enough sample size of younger prime players that they've gone after, because baseball doesn't yet let young prime players make any money. You have to make your money after 30. So the interesting one to me will be this Teoscar Hernandez deal. So he wants 20 plus 24 or 5 million a year for a 3 to 6 year deal. Dodgers won't give it to him, probably because they're paying $1 billion fucking in
Shohei Ohtani's and his
deferred money over the next 20 years or whatever. So they're not going to give Teoscar Hernandez money. Okay, so what do the Red Sox get him at? Do the Red Sox pony up that 24 a year or 21 a year? Do they go to the 5-year deal, or do they get him at their deal? Do they get him?
He's 32 years old, so I think they want to get him at their deal because he's 32 years old.
So don't be surprised if Teoscar Hernandez signs the $24 million a year 1-year deal with the Boston Red Sox, similar to Walker Buehler. Those are the type of deals that they're looking for, and we can argue whether that's right or wrong. That's a hard way to build a championship team, unless your kids are as good as you think they are, and you can build around them. And P.S. Don't tell them, but you're gonna have to pay those fucking kids too at some point. Yes, we can pick apart the financial philosophy of this team till the cows come home. Certainly, they deserve it. They're not spending enough money. But in terms of the moves that they've made, that Craig Breslow has made, we got to start giving me a little more credit. I don't know what you can be mad about. They also got the Moran kid from the Twins for Mickey Gasper in a trade. to add to their bullpen. So they've made.
You're just gonna have to
number of
see.
bullpen-
It's one of those things you have to wait till the end of June to be like, all right, Breslow did a great job. Like that's the only thing, because you are risking everything with all these guys coming over here and thinking like they're gonna pan out in the AL East, where Boston is a market where if you're
That's not
producing,
fair. You have to assess the deals in real time. Garrett Crochet deal is a really good deal in real time. They gave up a top prospect in Kyle Teal, and that's about it. So that's a great deal for the Red Sox. They
yeah,
wanted
but if
that
Kyle
guy
Teal
for a
turns
very long-
out to be a great catcher, then everyone's gonna backlash and be like, all right, well, Crochet's not a fucking Cy Young pitcher. We could have had Teal as a backbone
that's
of this
not.
team.
I don't think that's a fair way to assess a deal in the moment. Like, yes, it's a risk. All deals are risks. If you you take run risks with any business deal. That's the fucking part of it. All right. In the moment, you have a need. You have a need for a bona fide number one starter. You don't need a catcher. Good hitting catchers are hard to come by in the MLB, but they also don't last very long at the catching position. So, and you have one in Connor Wong. He's already on your goddamn roster.
Yeah, but you also have Jerky McGee over there, Jerky Reese, that's going to probably go into a parking lot and relapse and jerk off into a parking lot.
He's gone. He's been off the roster since middle of last season, Ray. So that's fine.
You're welcome.
We're away from.
Hey, at least I fucking remember him. Fuck you, Bobby.
Yep, there you go. So all in all, this is again an ode to the Red Sox. We can still be mad at them. Be mad at John Henry in the Fenway Group for their mid-market bullshit in Liverpool, in Boston, and in Pittsburgh, and soon to be in Las Vegas with their NBA team, only spending minimal amount of money when they could spend more. But I wouldn't be mad at Craig Breslow this offseason. This is the best offseason they've had in 5 years. They will be a better team in 2024 than they were in 2023 because of the deals that they've made, and I fully anticipate a right-handed bat coming to this roster before the season's up. Before the offseason.
Third place in the AL East is really good, right, Rich?
Well, you're being a real prick tonight. Quick break when we'll put Bobby in the penalty box.
Restless mind.
Here we go.
Bitch tits.
I've quite literally put Bobby in the penalty box. I've taken him off the screen. As we talk Bruins. Bruins are 19-13-4 with 42 points, 4 back of the first place Florida Panthers. Did he leave?
Yep.
We'll see if he comes back. Jonas Corposalo is the nice looking room, though. Nice looking room.
Look at that fucking closet door. You think that's where his furnace is?
No, I think that's where he hides his children in the Diddy Beyonce children ring.
Watch
water.
Watch how this fucking homo drinks water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's awkward.
Oh, he didn't do it.
It's awkward. Oh, yeah, you can. We'll do this quickly. The Bruins have been a tough watch this season, frankly. As you put here, they're playing better in front of Corposalo. 7-3-1 record, 2.42 goals against. Swayman wanted to set the market, went to business school, and got his $8.7 million, 12-10-4 with 3.04 goals against. You ask, should they trade Swayman before the deadline? My answer to that is no. They're selling low on a low player with a high upside and at least 2 more years of control before his no trade kicks in. So I'm not moving on from Swayman, but internally, if Sacco had any balls, he'd make him his backup. He would certainly make him his backup and see what you can do to get this team moving anymore. But to your greater point, and this is a good one, I said a long time ago, this team needed a shakeup, a real shakeup, a big one. Move some of these players off your fucking team. It won't be Swayman, but I will give you Brandon Carlo as a place you can start, or the newly added Zadorov. Defense, you are loaded. There's a ton of money in defense. If you want to talk to me about moving McAvoy, I am all ears if you can get a haul for him. If you can get first-round picks and high-end prospects and a top six winger or centerman forward, let's talk. Same with David Pastrnak. I got so much heat on your famed internet streets this year, Raymond, for talking about David Pastrnak not being the player that everybody thinks he is and basically being a bum when it matters most. And wouldn't you know it? What a season this guy's having without any actual talent, without any elite talent, a Patrice Bergeron Hall of Famer or a Martian and a Prime Hall of Famer, literally called the perfection line. And the guy that's soaking up all the goddamn glory, David Pastrnak, when he doesn't have the perfection line, just becomes something else. Left last week with an injury, upper body injury that he said he's been battling all season long. Okay. Whether that's a true thing or an excuse, either way, he's not producing. He's not producing as a top 5 right winger paid in the NHL. So you want to talk about trading him? You want to talk about Carlo? You want to talk about Marchand? Let's do it. Let's make some real fucking moves here, Bruins, because you're treading water at best, and your top 5 market-setting goalie who went to business school isn't doing what he's supposed to do. Your defense isn't doing what they're supposed to do. So it's time to pony up and start making a real pivot towards the next generation of the Boston Bruins. You're just not going to do that. You're just not going to do that with the moves that Swayman has made this year. And I don't blame Swayman, honestly. Outside of the Swayman thing, he fucked up the Swayman thing.
How many, when you go to the Forbes 500, do you see in business school, University of Maine?
Very rarely. University of Maine is where Jeremy Swayman went and said he went to business school. Here I am again explaining Ray's joke out of context. So
I thought it was a great joke.
It was a pretty good joke.
Thank you.
There you have it. There you have it. Long season to go for the Boston Bruins. Always still in playoff contention. Anything can happen, I guess.
Second round exit, no matter what.
Oh, first. I mean, first.
Ooh, first, really?
Yeah, they don't have the forward play, man. I told you at the beginning of the season, all the moves they made. Look at that top 6. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. Elias Lindholm finally showed up, but even him is.
It took him a while, though. I mean, that was their bank to be the center piece for Pastrnak, and he hasn't come through at all.
They don't have any scoring, right? They don't have any scoring. Who's scoring? David Pastrnak is out to lunch. Outside of that, they have no bona fide scorer on that team. They don't. They have nobody. It was a massive, massive miscalculation by Sweeney in that department. Said it at the top. Said you shouldn't pay Swayman that. Said you need to make a big, big, massive trade to swing this franchise in a different direction, pivot. We'll see. We'll see if they listen to the show. You better. I hope so. Let's add Bobby, see if he has any final thoughts on the Bruins. Just out of the penalty box.
That penalty box stink was bullshit. I didn't deserve it. I committed no penalty.
Okay. We'll be right back with 10 questions from a guy named Rob. See, this is how we do things here. We put you in the penalty box, and then we give you your own segment.
There it is. Okay, back in action. Back in. Okay, out of the penalty box to the penthouse. That's where I am.
I was going to say douchebag box, but go.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Luka, injured. Is his disgusting fat body going to end his career?
Yes.
It's certainly going to diminish it. I mean, he's got the skill set to be an all-timer, and he's not. I also just saw a quote about basketball not being fun for young kids anymore, and it's too much pressure. So, he's going to be another one of these European burnouts. And
no, I think he's
sorry to cut you off. I would not
basketball. What is that even in reference to?
Yeah,
I forget. I would not be surprised if Luka was the front runner for the trend of leaving the NBA to go back and play in Europe.
Oh, highly disagree. I think the NBA wants to make him a face of the NBA. I think they want to put all their stock into him because they need new superstars, and Luka should be number one. But yeah, his fat body, when you have a calf muscle strain, that means you're fat, buddy, and you should get
I agree. I agree with Ray. The NBA is cunty enough that they want cunts as their stars, and Luka is a fat cunt.
Well, we'll see. He's just fat and cunty enough to say, fuck you, NBA. I want to go play with no pressure over in France.
Also, his mother, dime.
Is that so?
Yep.
I'll take a look at that. Are the Chiefs peaking at the right time?
They've been peaking all year. They're fucking 13 or 14
They
and
haven't
1
been
now.
peaking. They've been barely winning games. Now they're blowing people out.
That's the Steelers. It's Russell Wilson and the Steelers. So I mean, they've been peaking all year. I just want them to lose.
They got their guys back. They got two receivers back.
Divisional round. They're going to lose, guaranteed. They've been having a cupcake season.
Yep, they are peaking. They're going to get home
peaking.
field advantage. They are going to threaten very hard for that three-peat. I don't see any NFC team challenging them. I think the Lions are very good, but frauds in their own right.
Goff can't beat Mahomes.
No, I honestly maybe Minnesota in that defense.
You're going to take
I mean,
Sam Darnold to beat Mahomes? Nope.
I like
Nope.
Kevin O'Connell, man. I like Kevin O'Connell a lot. I think Kevin O'Connell is kind of like McVay. He might be able to do something. But no, I think the Chiefs you should head and shoulders Super Bowl favorites unless Mahomes has. I mean, unless Josh Allen has a Josh Allen-y kind of day on any given Sunday.
Yeah,
I think you might.
I think if the Bills don't stop them, because I don't think the Ravens have a chance. I think they'll melt like they usually do. I think it's the Bills or nothing.
Yeah. Yep. Tough to see.
Speaking of the Steelers, should they go back to Justin Fields?
No. No matter what, I think
You're going to stick with that. I don't know if you watched any of that game. That was a sorry performance.
Sorry performance, but I think he's better than Justin Fields. Russell Wilson.
I don't know about that. He maybe was 5 games ago. He's not anymore.
I haven't watched enough Steelers football to know the ins and outs. I did watch that game, and there was some putrid throws there from Sus Russ. I think the Steelers are destitute for mediocre to poor quarterback play. I wouldn't go to Justin Fields, not walking into the playoffs. I mean, Fields would be a train wreck in the playoffs, I think.
Oof. I think I'd make the switch. Joel Embiid, is he the most unlikable athlete?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Tough to
What
argue
is
with.
buzzing? Is your vibrator going off below you?
Me? No, I have nothing.
No, it's Ray. Every time he hits his talk, Ray.
What?
You have a vibrator on.
It was that little mini vibrator he had before.
Oh, it's his fan or something, or heater or something.
It's that. He sticks it up his ass.
Yeah, he sticks it right up his booty. I hate Joel Embiid. He is climbing the list to the top of Mount Kyrie in terms of cunts that I hate.
More than Aaron Rodgers?
Do I hate Embiid more than Aaron Rodgers?
Top 5 cunts that you hate. Go.
Kyrie, Rodgers, Embiid. I don't know. I need a minute to find.
Gerard Mayo.
No, I don't hate Gerard Mayo. I don't feel bad for him at this point. To me, Gilbert Arenas. I don't like Gilbert Arenas. He pops up in my shit a lot. He's a real fucking loudmouth douchebag. Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy. He's a fucking loudmouth douchebag. I don't like him. There's 5.
There you go.
I'm sure I could come up with some better ones. Kyrie is certainly top. Aaron Rodgers is still above Embiid because Embiid has not gone like the airwaves and gone all fucking crazy. Thinking that he's just such a bitch.
He is incredibly annoying.
And
this is a good one.
Unlikable is a good defining word for Embiid. He's just unlikable.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything that you would perceive to not be unlikable.
No. There's no redeeming qualities in Joel Embiid.
That's a good way to put it. No redeeming qualities. This is a good one, I think. If Pete Carroll gets an NFL job, how does that make Belichick look, and how would he feel?
He doesn't care. He's gonna be fucking swimming in college pussy all year round. He doesn't give a flying fuck.
He would have a new layer of spite unmatched. You're gonna give this guy a job and not me?
The fury that would I can't even imagine how angry he would be.
He would blackmail himself into the NFL, back into the NFL, if that were to happen.
Exactly. What was the best present you got?
Your mother's ass.
Yes.
God damn it.
That was good. Yep. Ditto.
I guess that was a layup. Fine, whatever. Was Ray's son mad that his dad did a podcast in his room?
He actually was very upset.
Was he?
Very upset. My room's on the internet now. Fuck.
What happened?
He was just very upset. He was
Did
very
you tell him
upset.
all you did was make jerk off?
Was he
jokes
mad?
about it?
Was he mad because his room is cast on the internet?
Yes, he's very upset about that, and then how he made fun of his dinosaur posters and his Pokemon room. Yeah, he was very upset.
To be fair, we were making fun of you.
Yeah, we weren't making fun
I
of him.
understood
It was
that.
you.
I knew that. He just didn't realize that.
It looked like a young boy's room, which he is. It was just very awkward and funny that you were recording from that room, and the jokes were too easy.
Nothing like getting 15,000 people viewing our fucking viral clip, and all you see is dinosaur posters and a Fortnite bedsheet.
Uh huh.
Very good.
Great point, though, you made on that.
Yeah, it was. It was solid.
Yeah,
You did. You had a better show in his room, quite frankly.
You felt more free. Can
Yeah,
you
you did.
stop
You-
budgeting and fidgeting with your bullshit on your fucking? Just keep your hands in your pockets or something. The banging
hands
and
up.
scratching. Good God.
How long till you get rid of the Christmas tree?
I can't do it until January 1st.
Mine's gone.
White
Got rid of it today. It's out of here.
But
Get rid of that shit.
is that the
Christmas
that
is
the-
done.
Is that the native tradition?
Yeah,
You put up with?
we're on to the new season.
Yeah, Jesus hates you anyway. Why can't you get rid of? Why
Because it's tradition she had with her mom that they kept
okay,
that
I
for
was
a
just
week.
no. That's quick. You could have said my wife, and we would have understood exactly what you're talking about.
My wife.
I will dispose of it sometime between now and New Year's. It's really just a convenience of how to do I have time to pack all the shit, get it all off the tree, get all the decorations, get it all.
Do you have a
done.
heavily decorated tree?
Yeah,
Well, you're not going anywhere from now until New Year's Eve, so you got plenty of time.
You got plenty of time.
this is true. This is true. What do you have on your tree? Just fucking feathers?
Yeah,
And
picture of your mother's ass.
Yeah, Bobby. Well done.
Roasted. Will the Ravens wither again in the playoffs this year?
Yes, that's like a tale of old time.
yep.
They are. They suck. What's your New Year's resolution?
Fuck your mother.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
That one's
Layups, Vine. Layups.
Fine.
That's pretty lame. I was gonna say not to impregnate your mother, but
To each his own. Come on, another kid
Yeah,
running
well,
around.
my legitimate one is to not impregnate anyone this year. Because I fucked it up 2 years in a row.
that's a good one. That's a good one. I would actually like
Yeah.
to steal that. I also would not like that to happen.
Yeah. So that's mine.
And also eat less carbs. Simplest minds of the week right after this.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
But I will say, I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me. I dodged it, but it nicked me. Bit of a day walker myself.
Are you stupid or something? I'm as stupid as stupid does.
Our edition for Simplest Minds of the Week comes to you from New Zealand, Wellington, New Zealand. A New Zealand man playing his first ever competitive Scrabble game in Spanish, a language he does not speak, has won the board game Spanish language world title. Where the fuck is Ray? I look up and Ray is not there. I need a clip, Ray. Where's Ray?
If you look at the chat, it says, I got to pee.
Oh my God, we have 5 minutes left of the fucking show.
He's so dumb.
He's so dumb. I hate him so much. All right. Oh God, I fucking hate him. Let me see if I can get this to you. Nigel Rogers, a professional player who holds 5 English world titles, won the Spanish World Scrabble Championships in Granada, Spain in November, losing 1 out of 24 games. Here's your world champion.
Meet Nigel Richards. This Kiwi genius set his sights on the French Scrabble Championship, which was held on 2015. Spent 9 weeks memorizing words from a French dictionary before entering championship. The stakes were high, the competition fierce, and the language, well, it was completely foreign to him. But Nigel's determination was unmatched. He won and became national champion despite not speaking any French.
That's right. A couple years before winning in Spain, he won in France. So he's a New Zealander who speaks English and has won 2 Scrabble World Championships. Actually, 3. Allow me to continue. Richard started memorizing the languages Scrabble World List a year ago. His friend Liz, Scrabble official, I guess, told the Associated Press. Also, news that Scrabble is such a big world competition or whatever else. He goes on to say, quote, he can't understand why other people can't just do the same thing. He said he can look at a block of words together, and once they go into his brain as a picture, he can just recall that very easily. So he's got a photographic memory. Good for him. That takes away a little bit from what he did. However, in 2008, he was
photographic memory for something fucking useful instead of winning World Scrabble Championships.
This is kind of where I was going with it. Like, why don't you go cure cancer or something or do something? He's made $200,000 since 1996. Since 1996, he's wrangled up $200,000 in prize money from winning 75%.
Yeah, like go on Jeopardy or like do something. Like there's other things you could do, but he's too fucking lazy. He looks like a bum, and he just comes out of wherever hole he lives in eventually to make some cash.
Yeah, he does look like a bum, and this sums it up pretty quickly. He said, this is what his mother said, quote, I don't think he's ever read a book apart from the dictionary. So that's what he's got. At least he's got the dictionary above Raymond in terms of books read.
I gave Ray's mother's after the dictionary.
Just to give you a little insight in the world of Scrabble, Ray, why don't you do your goddamn job and play this last clip?
The most points that can be scored in a game of Scrabble in a single move is unknown, but the highest so far discovered was found by Dan Wood in 2008. It requires an unlikely scenario in which you have these 7 letters, the board looks like this, and it's your turn. First, you take your O and turn pacifying into O-pacifying. You take your X to change is into Zis, which means more than one Zi. You make requalified pre-qualified. Rainwashing becomes brainwashing. Wakeners becomes awakeners. One time becomes zone time. And finally, with your E, jaculating becomes ejaculating. You made those 7 words by vertically playing oxyphenbutazone, a word that, like all the words on this board, are allowed in tournament play by the North American Scrabble Players Association. In that one move, you scored 1,780 points.
Any of those words ring a bell to you? Yeah, we can't hear you, Ray. You are
ejaculating. Ejaculating is the only one I heard.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Have you been muting and unmuting yourself because you're in the basement and you have a furnace going off?
Yep.
Why don't you just say so?
I'm sorry, baby. I got the hiccups.
Oh, yeah, the hiccups. That was like a sailor in the fucking port, you drunk. Good God, I'm surprised we made it to the end.
I'm surprised I made it to the end, too.
You didn't, actually. You left to piss.
I had to pee. Oh, my God. It was beautiful when I pee outside my garage and the fucking...
Was it another one of those pussy-ass weak streams?
It was a weak-ass stream. It was clean, though.
It was a weak, girly little stream.
You sent us a video of a toilet of you pissing in, and it went for a long time, but it was thin and clear.
I was very drunk and very high at the same time.
And your stream was weak. You have a weak little wing-wang.
Your mother doesn't have a weak fucking ass.
This has been the Sim Mind Sports Show. Friday Rewind. Live,
December 27th.
We will see. I was just trying to do the math in my head. Shut the fuck up, Ray. We'll see you in 2025. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. I love you, Richard. I love you.
Don't.